Good morning, fellow San Diegans, fellow La Jollans, fellow Californians, and fellow Americans. My name is Leslie Williams, and as you can see by me showing you this video picture of my cell phone. Hang on 1 second, please. I'm going to have to tape record as well the statements I'm making in this video, so I'm going to start my statements over. Today's date is, as you can see by me showing you my picture of my cell phone, August 22nd, 2013, and the time is 7:56 a.m. and my name is Leslie Williams. I am what is known as a targeted individual, and being a targeted individual, that means that I'm a target of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be called gang stalking. Excuse me. Anyways, I'm preparing to head out to start my day. I'm hiking in California while I'm saving for a mobile home. But I don't think it would matter too much if I rented an apartment, a motel room, or even bought a mobile home. I'm sure that I would be gang stalked to those physical environments, because organized stalking and gang stalking targets are gang stalked everywhere they go, including their homes. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is go to Google and type in how they will rent apartments next to targets, how they will get landlords and property owners on board, how they will use postal employees on board to steal or delay the rent of a target. Now, if you've never heard of gang stalking and begin to research it, in the first day online, you will discover that creating homelessness of a target is one of their main objectives for a target. Okay? And if you know about gang stalking and have not discovered this factual reality, just Google it. Creating homelessness of a target is one of their first main objectives for a target. I have literally been gang stalked to my last at least 4 apartments, at least. Now, I got a book in my backpack right now in fact, I got 2 books in my backpack right now written by targeted individuals, and they're both saying the same thing, 2 separate targets in 2 separate states, and one of them was written by a postal employee who's being gang stalked by fellow postal employees. And in both books, it flat out states about how they're the one woman I think it's a woman, in fact it is a woman, who wrote the book concerning her being a gang stalking target at the post office. She flat out states that the reason why that they're gang stalking her is to get her house. Yes, I've been saying it all along: land co-opting, property co-opting, mortgage co-opting, identity theft, trust fund liquidation, racketeering of all forms, insurance fraud, human trafficking, and these are just a few of the criminal motivations that these skanked out freaks have for the people that they flag and tag as targets, and then perpetrate their crimes against them. I'm an average American citizen, literally, and I don't know how plainer to say it. I'm not involved in any illegal or criminal activity whatsoever. I'm not crazy in any way, shape, or form, and I'm not a threat to myself or others. But these last 3 descriptions are the types of labels they attempt to put on targets in order to take eventual syndicated probate control of them, to either co-opt through a syndicated probate judge and attorney their existing benefits that they have, like Social Security, to exploit their Medicare and exploit the target sexually. In a syndicated run environment, they're placed in as a result of the organized crime in the system that places them in organized crime syndicated run environments, including group homes. That's right. That's what this is all about, and that in part is the reason why the homelessness is created. So they can then claim the target is homeless. They're claiming they're being stalked and harassed by people they don't know. We think that this person cannot take care of themselves because they're homeless and won't get out of it, even though they're gang stalked to multiple apartments. I suggest you go to YouTube and type in, Google and type in, "Hi baby," it's my birdie. Check him out. Good morning, baby. That's one of my favorite babies. I think he's in mating season or something. Anyways, I'm acting a little bit goofy this morning. But go to Google and type in Erica Dean Gilmore. Now, she was a California target, and what they did with her was they cleverly flooded out her ceiling of her bathroom by individuals that were in the apartment above it, so they could then make it appear that the eviction of her was done through legitimate purposes. She's got a PDF documentation file online. You can go to Google and type in Erica Dean Gilmore, Freedom FCHS. It's a documentation file. Just do it, and you'll find her documentation file. And they cleverly created homelessness of her. Now, if you went to Google and typed in how they will rent apartments above, below, or next to a target, or how they will solicit landlords and property owners on board to direct them and get their cooperation in reference to the schemes and maneuvers that they initiate against the target, or what they'll do as well is solicit current tenants that are above, below, or next to a target to engage in these expeditions. They'll also bust plumber pipes or even hijack into the plumbing of a target. You would not believe what I know. Now, you can go to Google as well. I'm going to get that back to Erica Dean Gilmore in a second. But you can also go to Google, because gang stalking is happening in every state in the United States. Excuse me. You can go to Google and type in stalked, drugged, and raped. Is it happening here in San Antonio? I would strongly suggest that you would not believe the testimony of those two separate women from that Ken 5 news broadcast that I believe was broadcasted on February 10th or February 5th or something like that, 2010. The statements that those two women make, and you can also find the transcript of that news broadcast. There are things that each separate of the two women that are covered in that news broadcast that state that has happened to them was literally already written in blogs and in email files concerning me years before those two targeted individuals were covered on the news broadcast. Flat out. I'm talking about the same exact identical method. That's right. Now, and they broke into this woman's home. One of the women that was covered on this news broadcast, they broke into her home and drugged her food and then came in and raped her. Okay? And then with the other woman, she's claiming that her water was tainted with arsenic, and how a item of jewelry went missing and then reappeared. Now, and then the other woman who was drugged and raped, she talked about how they entered her home and turned on all of her lights and opened up her doors. Now, from both of those statements, in reference to jewelry being stolen and then magically reappearing, and then this woman having her house broken into and the perpetrators opening up all the doors and turning on all the lights, is what they did to me in Michigan. And it was already written in blogs concerning me years before those two women were covered on the news broadcast. Now, as far as Erica Dean Gilmore, you got to understand this. This is in part organized crime in the system, which can include housing inspectors. That's right. That's right. So they flooded her apartment from the apartment above to make it appear that the housing inspector had a legitimate reason to claim that her apartment was no longer inhabitable. And then they just stalked, and then she got evicted because of it, and then she got stalked to the other apartments she tried to lease, and all these landlords were telling her that, refusing to lease to her, and then one finally opened up and said an individual had approached him and told him not to rent to her. That's right, and that's achieved through the stalking of the target so they can see what the target's doing, the observation of a target, so they can see what the target's doing. Look at my bird. Hi, baby. Come here. Hang on, I gotta feed him. Anyways, that's done through the observation and stalking of a target so they can ascertain what the target's doing, and then just as a result of them having power positions in the community, they see, like if I went to go rent an apartment or a motel room, okay, they gang stalked me to Yucca Valley when I went there for 1 week, when I left on December 6, 2012, and came back on December 13th. I experienced the same exact identical harassment in Yucca Valley when I was out there for 1 week, which is 167 miles away from San Diego County, that I experienced in San Diego County. It was caught on audio file and my cell phone video. That's right, including on Yucca Valley's buses. Now, what they did with Erica Dean Gilmore is they targeted her, tried to eventually get her involved in prostitution, and eventually to try to take her daughter away so the daughter could be put in syndicated foster care. Because every time an targeted individual is put in these syndicated run environments like group homes and foster homes, they either co-opt the target's existing finances or will apply for federal funds in their name and state funds in their name, including insurance. And the campaign continues towards these persons in these syndicated run environments, isolated environments, where they're also raped. Now, remember what I said. You can go to Google and type in stalked, drugged, and raped. Is it happening here in San Antonio? If they broke into that woman's home and drugged her food and then waited until the drug took effect and then came in and raped her, do you you honestly think that they're not going to rape somebody in a group home that they didn't deliberately and intentionally own? I mean, that they deliberately and intentionally pipeline the target into, and that the perpetrators own, because they make money off every angle. The insurance fraud, that's right, because the targeted individual is harassed in these homes and then told, and to create an incident, and then they're blamed for the incident and then told they got to get on medication because they're out of control, and then they petition them in the psychiatric ward, and that's where the doctors who are connected to this will book the Medicare. That's right. And they're put on psychotropic medications that totally compromise their physiological systems, which makes their body feel a non-stop state of anxiety, and that compromises their cognitive ability in order to compromise the target's ability to think clearly. And then they're released, put back in a home, and the same thing will happen again a month later. Insurance fraud. While the target's monthly checks are co-opted, and they'll even take a target like me off of Social Security, wait until the financial destitution creates the circumstances that can steer me to places that they can either influence or control. Yes, you would not believe what I know. Okay, so anyways, the purpose of this video as well is to show you a picture of my cell phone. And why am I doing that as well? Because I'm predicting that they're going to eventually attempt to do what I've already forementioned, and they're going to hack into my computer and make it inoperable. They're already doing it over at UCSD and at the law library. That's right. Hacking into it to control the internal functions of it to make it inoperable. Because my laptop computer that I bought from Staples on May 29, 2013, and I'm going to UCSD, minding my own business at the Price Center, and using their Wi-Fi services to upload the videos of proof and to upload prediction videos concerning what might happen to me. They're singing it because cyber surveillance is a direct method of gang stalking. Google it, and you'll see that it is. Computer hacking is another one. Go to YouTube and type in Connie Marshall, targeted individual, Louisville, Kentucky. She was a mayoral candidate. Now, in order to understand some of the electromagnetic weapons that she talks about in that news broadcast, go to the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. The very, very bottom of their homepage is 3 PDF links. The first one being remote neural monitoring. In the remote neural monitoring file, it flat out states that they have the technological resources to access any electronic device. Video cameras, tape recorders, like the one like the tape recorder that I'm using to tape my statements right now. Computers. Connie Marshall talks about how she has went through several fax machines, cell phones, and computers as a result of her being gang stalked. Now, Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance's homepage is supposed to be a homepage that advocates for and exposing gang stalking, advocating for targeted individuals and exposing the gang stalking expeditions and the technological resources they have in their possession. Now, UCSD, I already have older videos online concerning my emails being hacked into when I was using their computers in the biomedical library. That's right. So do you really honestly think that UCSD is ever going to admit that I'm being gang stalked on their campus, just like I was in SDSU and USD? That's right. No. Because they know that criminality is directly connected to these expeditions. They don't want their image tarnished. Are you kidding? Let me tell you, fellow American citizens and fellow La Jollans, I'm a good woman. I'm not crazy in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a threat to myself or others, and I'm not mentally ill. I'm a target of these crimes and an activist concerning them. And I'm telling you the truth. Look what happened with the Penn State fiasco. Okay? That university lost hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. It still is, in reference to how their image was tarnished because of Sandusky, and that's not including the lawsuits that they had to cover as a result of the premise liability because of what Sandusky was doing to little boys on their campus. Do you honestly think that since human trafficking is directly connected to gang stalking, that they're ever going to admit that gang stalking occurred towards me on their campus, that cyber surveillance and computer hacking occurred towards me on their campus, including in the biomedical library computers and my own personal computer? The last time I was there 2 days ago, on Monday, they hacked into my computer and froze it right before I was beginning to pack up my property to leave for the day. And the computer is always the last thing that I go to bag up, to shut it down and then put it in my backpack. Right before about a minute before I went to go shut down the computer, it froze up. All the windows that I had open, the YouTube and the Googles, I could not access to minimize them or shut them down. And then eventually the arrow for the mouse was not accessible as well. I could not turn it on or turn it off. So I got on my video camera and I took a video picture of it. And I also made some statements in the video. I believe I made some statements in the video file, and I also made statements in a running tape recorder as it was occurring that morning I had made numerous statements in my audio file at this area before I left concerning what they did with County Marshall, predicting that they were going to eventually shut down my computer. I get to, and that it would more than likely happen at UCSD or the Law Library or the North University San Diego Public Library, which are the only three places I use my computer, okay, mostly at UCSD. And then I leave this area and I go to UCSD and they froze it up. I unplugged it. It wouldn't reboot. I hit and held the power button. It wouldn't reboot. It was frozen on, just like they did to 9 video cameras that I went through in the first week that I bought. 9 $100 brand new video cameras that I bought from Best Buy. That's right, off of Friars and Frazee Road, a little bit past Friars and Frazee Road. I bought 9 $100 video cameras from Best Buy beginning in the month of June 2012 and the ending of the first week of July 2012. I went through 9 $100 video cameras that they were freezing and totally making inoperable. That's right, from a third party. 9 $100 brand new video cameras. Now, they're going to freeze this computer up. That's right, in order to keep me from going to UCSD, to probably steer me to go to North University San Diego Public Library and the Law Library. At the North University San Diego Public Library, I can't upload any videos because you're only allowed to be on the computer 1 hour, and then once that 1 hour expires, the computer reboots. And YouTube, I go to put in a video card that's got a 2-minute video on it. 2-minute video at North University San Diego Public Library, and YouTube tells me it takes almost 200 minutes to upload a 2-minute video. BS. Bullshit. Cyber surveillance and cyber monitoring, computer hacking, computer espionage, all of these terms are gang stalking tactics. So we're going to see how long it takes before they make the computer that I just purchased on May 29th, 2013 at Staples at Villa La Jolla Plaza, where I was literally being gang stalked in the Staples as I was buying it. And I got the audio files to prove it. So today's date is August 22nd, 2013, and we're going to see how long it takes before they make this computer that I am talking about, a Samsung Chrome computer, inoperable. Think about this. It's not even 90 days old. Okay? It's not even 90 days old. And I'm not uploading anything from the internet that would produce it to have a virus. And the way that they hacked into it the other day was the same exact way that the video cameras that I bought in 2012 were made inoperable. It was made inoperable to where you could not shut it down or turn it back on. That's right. And right before I went to go leave, right before I just gave up on trying to reboot it, and I took a video picture of it, and I was making statements in my tape recorder as it was happening, it all of a sudden magically rebooted. That's right. And I took a video picture of it as it was happening. I'm probably not going to upload those video pictures of that event today because I got a bunch of other videos that I just made exposing gang stalking happening in the San Diego Police Department headquarters. So I got to go, and I'm predicting it right now in this video, as well as predicting the aforementioned descriptions in this video concerning what they're going to eventually do to me. Go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech. Everything you need to know. It's a manifesto of a manager of gang stalking. And that manifesto does not cover the entire capabilities and resources and methods and tactics of gang stalking, but it does give you a good preliminary introduction. But notice how it talks about how all the communications of a target are monitored. Notice how it talks about syndicated schools, the fact that entire police departments have been taken over. That's right. Concerning how fire departments are involved as well in gang stalking. But pay close attention to how it says all the communications of a target are monitored, including my cell phone. If I go to call a lawyer on this cell phone, do they have the ability to reroute the calls to them? Do they have the ability to call this phone pretending to be a law firm that I contacted and saying that we're not interested in your case? Do they even got the ability in the power positions in the community to connect with a law firm or lawyer to intimidate, bribe, collude with them to not take any of my cases? Do they? I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos, and they also will fake email replies of any lawyer that I contact, or any civic group. That's right, or human rights group. And all of these descriptions can be cross-referenced to gang stalking or organized stalking at Google. And when you research my descriptions extensively, you'll see that I'm telling you the truth. So I'm making these predictions right now. I'm a good woman. I do what I do to expose the factual realities of what's honestly and factually happening to me, so fellow San Diegoans, fellow La Jollans, and fellow Californians can know the truth. And why won't the San Diego District Attorney's Office investigate the crimes that are happening to me? And why won't the San Diego Police Department allow me to make one police report after at least between 12 and 19 physical separate requests of me making a request to them in their physical presence, requesting to have them make a police report of me being a gang stalking victim, and every single time they flat out told me no to my face? Why? That's all you got to ask yourself. Why? Who are they protecting? I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I appreciate you listening, and this is a prediction video. Thank you.